All right. I must say, I am excited again about tea after having some very mediocre teas. Um, this one, though, is from Laos, and I did verify. It's definitely the Nepalese teas from RAKKASAN that I do enjoy more. And so I don't know what this one is going to be, but it did smell somewhat interesting. This one is from Laos. It is a green tea. It's smoky, which I really like in a pu'er. So let's see here. The cold brew may be just a bit overbrewed. I didn't measure out on a scale or anything. I try to eyeball 5 grams, but this is obviously more than 5 grams. Let's see what we get. Not overbrewed at all. It is so it does have the smoky quality. It is light bitterness. It's somewhat nutty, and there is a sweetness. Hard to say where it is on the sweet level. It is definitely somewhere between a fruit and a sugar, but it is good. It is a bit overbrewed, and so I kind of hate that because I want to say that it's a much darker green tea than what I prefer. But the truth is, it's a bit overbrewed. But it is good, and I have a feeling that if it wasn't so overbrewed, I'll have more of that sweetness that's in the background of it right now. Right now, it's very forward smokiness and, like I said, light bitterness, which isn't a bad thing. I just prefer a lighter cold brew. All right, so I'm gonna get my glass hot. Shake it out good. So I have decided, I was thinking about this yesterday, because I have those Nepalese teas that I really like. I don't think I'm gonna bring any teas back with me from storage, because those Nepalese teas I have, which are roughly 60-70 grams of tea, it's more than enough to carry me through. And then I still have a couple samples from Farmer Leaf on the way, so I have more than enough tea. I don't need to bring anything back with me. So it's actually a bit of cocoa, which I didn't expect. Yeah, I mean, it's not like super rich cocoa, but there's no other word to describe it. It's not really smoky. I'm gonna put just a bit more in there. Yeah, it's not really smoky. It's just sort of a cocoa flavor. As of now, this green tea, I definitely want to try it again as a cold brew, and see if I can lighten it up a bit, because I mean, it has a lot of great potential, and I can be wrong, but if I think if it wasn't so overbrewed, it'll be less smoky, a little less bitter and sweeter. And there's even a little bit of nuttiness in there that I really like with green tea. Yeah. Brown sugar, sweetness, and cocoa. And you can see the leaves there. Really pretty in the light. And I can tell that they're gonna green up really pretty here once we get them wet. Going to make sure my water is hot, hot, hot. Yep, rolled leaves. A really pretty green, almost like a seaweed green. I love the sweetness on this. The dry leaf is very similar to the flavor that I get on the cold brew, in that it's sort of in between the fruit and sugar sweetness. So definitely closer to sugar than fruit, but you can almost swear there's a bit of fruit in there. Just don't know what the fruit is. Maybe like mangosteen or something. Okay. Now that it's wet, the greenness is coming out. Again, no real smokiness, just like cocoa, which I understand is a roasted cacao seed, basically. But still, I mean, that's really what it smells like. It's a bit like cocoa, or even cacao powder, you know. And you know, since I have become a cacao nerd, living in Ecuador, when I go to the grocery store, I went to purchase some chocolate to make chocolate milk. I'm gonna give this one 30 seconds. Probably need to do 15. Yeah, we're gonna go with 15. Just to be safe, because that cold brew was definitely overbrewed. And yeah, just as I expected, the leaves are really greening up very nicely. Really pretty color. I really like that. I remember listening to a tea video, and someone mentioned sea water or something like that. And I think I know, at first when I heard that, I was like, there's no way. Like, I've definitely had something that tasted a bit like seawater in the past. It's like kind of salty, minerally, whatever. But now I think I understand what you're saying. Depending on where you're from, makes a huge difference as to what your idea and thoughts of an ocean smell are, right? So being more from the tropics and everything, I have a certain idea of what the ocean smells like and tastes like. But I have been up in Maine. I love Maine. And the ocean there is definitely different. It definitely has more of a seaweed sort of thing going on. And it reminds me of this. And so now I understand how they can get that, that flavor note by calling it ocean. I'm not gonna call it that, but it definitely is really sort of that green leaf thing going on. Yeah, definitely got to go at least 30 seconds on this. Even though it is the first infusion, it needs more. It needs more. It's not bad. No bitterness, no umami. There's a little bit of green in there. I don't know what else to call it other than a green tea flavor. But it's not like a soup. It's not thick. It's really light. So it needs more. It needs more. So I'm gonna make sure I get this water really hot. And this time I'm gonna go 30 seconds. And then well, it's starting to turn sweet. And it is going back towards that fruit. It's almost I want to say like fruit roll-up, like strawberry. Yeah. Red strawberry fruit roll-up. And so I'm gonna be really interested in doing and brewing this at cooler temperatures to see if I can pull any of that strawberry fruit flavor out. And we got another roughly 5 seconds to give this a full 30 seconds. All right. If I go a bit over 30, I'm not mad at that at all, because I think this tea does need a bit more. And judging that by the color right away, it definitely think it's gonna be really good at about a minute. Look at these leaves. They look really, really pretty now, fully unfurled. And so this next infusion, I definitely want to go a minute. Hopefully I don't take too much out of the leaves, because I want to go back and do a cooler temperature with this to see if I can pull out any sort of sweetness at all. And yeah, it's sort of nutty. Yeah, really sort of nutty. And I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna leave the top off. As the temperature dissipates, as the heat dissipates, it's gonna turn sweet and fruity. So really interested to see what that looks like. So look at this color. A tiny bit darker, not much. I do want to say though, the quality of the leaf is really good. You see some fuzzies in there, but there is absolutely no crumbs, no dirt. And being that these teas were all packed the same way in the same canister and everything, that lets me know that that tea that I had before was pretty dirty. It was pretty dirty. Not too dirty, but it's pretty dirty compared to this one, which is really, really clean. Yeah, it's flat. I mean, there's just nothing really here. This tastes no different than the 15-second brew. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank up the temperature one more time, and I'm gonna try to go for a minute plus, and then I'm gonna have to go much longer with the cooler water because I'm afraid I'm taking too much out of the leaves. But I mean, you know, second infusion, there's just not much here. Just no real flavor. It's not bad or anything. Just nothing to talk about. I mean, I can't even really say that there is any sort of flavor note to really speak of, other than it's a very light green tea. That's really all I can say about it. So I'm gonna try to overbrew this, and like I said, I'm afraid I'm taking too much out of the leaves, but you know, I think that also says something about the particular tea as well. So right away, I do want to try again with the cold brew. I think it has some potential for sure. I believe this is the second tea I've had from LAOS, from RAKKASAN, and I'm not impressed. Not impressed. The Nepalese teas really seem to do it for me. And so I may actually look into exploring some more Nepalese teas. It's really late in the year to do that. I feel like if I want to explore teas from Nepal, it's probably best I wait until next spring's harvest. Just the idea of an autumn flush Nepal tea, it's not, doesn't sound very appetizing. And I think I'm doing a disservice if I order a spring picked Nepalese tea now, so late in the year, because you know it's not going to be as fresh and maybe not as good. I imagine also that some of the best teas are long gone by now, and what's left over, it's, you know, usually the leftovers. So I think this experiment, I was a bit disappointed at first, but now I feel really good about it. Exploring all of these different border teas. I do like the teas from Nepal, and I did not expect that. I really didn't, but it makes sense because I love the Indian Darjeelings. So, and I don't remember what I had to say about the first tea from Nepal that I enjoyed, but I know this last one, it was reminiscent of a Darjeeling, but different. And that's something that I really liked about it. These leaves look really, really pretty. I mean, like I said, man, the quality on these leaves, it's just beautiful. And I love it when you have a producer that is careful with the pickings and the leaves. This one doesn't seem to have any buds. I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah, there's a few, but not many. And I think that is something that I prefer. So I can't quite unfurl this one, but you can see this one, I would say, medium-sized leaf. And then a bud hanging on to that thing. Not a lot of stem. And so, I don't know. I've had the experience of actually seeing tea trees and tea bushes. So I know what the leaves look like when they come off. Over the years, I've seen tea with really big leaves. I've seen tea with really small leaves. And this one does seem to be somewhere in the middle. You can see there. Again, no buds. And so I imagine that this was either purposely picked this way or it's not a first flush picking. All right, so tried to overbrew this thing. Color is much, much darker, but again, very, very clean brew. I mean, there is just nothing in here. It is beautiful. Quality of these leaves are just awesome. Okay, so I think after tasting this hot brew and going through these multiple infusions, I don't think the cold brew has any potential. I'm still gonna try, but I don't think it has any potential. This is just a very flat, I can't even say one-dimensional tea. It's just very flat, just nothing going on at all. I've steeped it for a minute plus, and the bitterness has come in. There's a little bit of nuttiness, which is cool, but that's it. Like, there's just nothing else. I think if I try really hard, I could say maybe there's a tiny, tiny bit of umami. But if I was someone that's never had tea before, I wouldn't be able to pick it out, you know? There's nothing going on here. Absolutely nothing. You know, this is back to the one redeeming quality about this tea is not only the quality of the picking and the quality of the leaf, but the aroma is really nice, and I like the fact that it changes. It goes from one thing to another. You know, I've talked about the smokiness of the aroma. I've talked about the cocoa. I've talked about the strawberry for roll up. I've talked about the nuttiness. It is a bit of a digestive, which is really cool. I haven't had much to eat today, but I did eat something before I drank, and like I feel my digestion working a bit here. I can maybe speak to the fact that even though I don't quite feel it yet, I know that this tea is going to be very energizing. Okay, here's the deal. If you are a green tea fan, right? Like, you love your green tea. Green tea is something that you want to drink on a daily basis. It's something that you drink primarily to give you an energy boost. I'll say that if this tea is very inexpensive, it is a great daily drinker. It's nothing special about it. Nothing different about it. It is just a very straightforward, very flat. I can't stress that enough. Just very simple green tea. But it's not light. It's not refreshing. It's not like, you know, it's not one of those. It's just kind of dark and like concrete, you know, like just that, you know. The green teas that I prefer are more like light, fresh, fruity, buzzy, you know, and of course I like complexity too, right? This one is not that. It's just the complete opposite. It is just, it's hard to call it green tea, to be very honest with you. It is a green tea that is more like a coffee than a green tea. And I don't mean coffee as far as flavor goes. I'm just saying, like, you know, the kind of person that just doesn't care about flavor in coffee. They just want the black coffee for its caffeine content. That's what this is, you know? Like, the person that just doesn't care what it tastes like. They're just like, I don't care. It's not supposed to taste good. It's supposed to wake you up in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, that's what this is. Because it's definitely energizing, and it's not a horrible flavor or anything. And very, very clean brew. Quality leaves. I can't stress that enough. Really. Trying to get this to right at 50 Celsius. So I want to make sure there's enough temperature. Wow. I think I'm supposed to heat the water again to make sure I get it there. And I just cannot get it there. My goodness. Well, let's do this. Go ahead and heat it up. Because at this point I'm wasting water. It's like 48. And because I know I'm gonna brew this for a long time, I know it's gonna lose temperature as soon as I pour it into that glass. And I wanna give it, enough heat to do its job. All right, let's see. 49.3. All right, now it's at 53. That is perfect. And I'm gonna let this just hang out and steep for as long as it wants to. So I got a recommendation from someone yesterday that suggested that I try tea with sparkling water. And something that I've never thought about before. I never thought about it before. And I think maybe if the idea has ever crossed my mind, I've quickly put it away at the thought of what that may taste like. And even now, when I try to imagine what it'll taste like, I'm just like, no, I don't think so. But I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna try it. Now, this particular person suggested using an Oriental Beauty, which for me in my palate, I don't think that's going to be a good idea. I like dark Oriental Beauties, not the green light stuff. So. And that's all I have is the dark stuff. And I use it to make boba. So what I do have though is I have some green tea from Hawaii, and I believe I have green tea from Mississippi as well. And so I've been buying some naturally occurring sparkling water. I believe the company is German. That's what I've been buying here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drink a little bit of it. I'm gonna pour in the tea and then cap it off as good as I can, and then throw it in the fridge and leave it for a day. Hopefully I don't lose too much carbonation. And just to see what it tastes like. I think it can be interesting. You know, maybe I won't like it, or maybe I'll taste it and decide that I ought to try it with a different kind of tea or something. But either way, see these leaves hanging out. Yeah, I'm afraid I took too much out of the leaves. I'm gonna keep boosting my high here with the cold brew. It just it feels like there's potential there, because in the background there's so much sugar sweetness, and then the nuttiness in the back of it. It's just, you're like, can this tea be that? You know, that's typically what you get out of a cold brew. A lot of times you get some of that sweetness and nuttiness really comes through. I'm afraid that it won't, but it tastes pretty good though. I do like it. And after having the hot brew, I can't say for sure if this is overbrewed. I do want to try it again though. I'm gonna do a second steeping. I always do. And usually the second steeping is lighter than the first, but I want to go back and do another cold brew fresh with less leaf and just see if there's any difference. And if there is, I'll come back and say so. But again, not terrible. I do think that if I took this cold brew out into the heat, I don't think it's going to turn into anything bad, but I think it's going to lose its sweetness for sure. All right, I don't know how long it's been, but my patience is running thin, and I want to try this, but I also want to give it enough time. I feel like I really need a palate cleanser because this tea really sticks around in your mouth. What I have is just like the smokiness and some of the bitterness. I don't think that worked at all, but something. But yeah, this tea definitely sticks around in your mouth. Okay, that's as long as I can take. Let's see what we get. Color. Wow, it's actually darker than what I expected. I was about to say color is really light, but it's not a bad color at all. I've lost pretty much all the aroma. Again, really pretty leaves. Really happy with the leaves. I love these things. All right, see what we get here. So the color, I mean, it's about the same color as the first and second infusion, honestly, but I just didn't expect it to get there. Again, very clean brew. Very hard to judge. Very hard to judge. I really do need a palate cleanser. It's not very often. Matter of fact, it's only happened a couple times in memory ever that I try a tea and I decide, okay, I need to go back and do this again. This is one of those teas. I think I took too much out of the leaf, and so I want to go back and I want to try brewing this at cooler temperatures first to see what I get out of it, because it's just, I feel like if I let it sit there for another hour, the liquor is not going to change much. It's a decent green tea. It's not, like I said, it's light. It's a digestive. I mean, it's working my that food that I ate earlier, which was fish. So it's like it's working. It's just, I don't know, man. It's not what I wanted to be. It's not what I wanted to be. Also, I have to say that out of all the times I've ever gone back and tried a tea again, it's only been maybe once that I was like, oh yeah, doing it this way was much better. Usually it's like, okay, let me do this again, and be like, nah, it still didn't work, you know? I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen with this one. I'm really happy that, you know, RAKKASAN sends so much of this stuff. You know, freaking, you know, almost 40 grams. So I can very easily try this again, and if I don't like it, I'll give it away. I still have some tea in there to give away, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. I was giving some tea to my cousin. We have a food pantry in the neighborhood, but I don't think I don't think it's good form to give something that's already been opened. So even though it's clean and you know there's no problems with it or anything, I mean you can't trust that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may end up just composting, or I haven't made kombucha in a long time, and I feel guilty buying kombucha from the store, knowing that I can make it myself. But I threw away my last mother, so I don't know. Maybe I'll order a new mother and make some kombucha. But I mean, you know, it'll make good compost. That's what I've been doing with the spent leaves anyway, just composting them. So why not do that with the new leaves, right? Yeah, no, I'm gonna finish the cold brew, but this one is going to the compost pile pretty much right away. Yeah, it's I can maybe if I brew it hard, I can maybe get another infusion or two out of that, but it's done for the most part. All right, from me to you, I'll holla.